More on the relief and donation efforts. We are joined by Leanne Musselman, Communications Director of the Canadian Red Cross here in Ontario. Leanne, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Horrific scenes unfolding, and now that we're actually getting there, because that hurricane stalled over it, we're talking almost 100% of the people are affected on certain areas.
That's right. I mean, we've all seen some of the pictures that are emerging from Bahamas, from Abaco Island specifically, and it's completely underwater. The devastation is widespread, and the Canadian Red Cross has. We know that the local Red Cross in Bahamas has volunteers who are on the ground and are really looking to address the most urgent needs right now. And it's difficult to get around. These communities are underwater. That's the strength of the Red Cross, though, is that, it is a volunteer organization. So there is a vast network of volunteers who are all over the world, including in the Bahamas.
What is the big concern on the ground right now for the people there? And how can people help?
Yeah, so the big concern right now is getting people sort of the essential needs, things that we take for granted here, things like clean water, food, shelter. Many people have been, isolated for days now because of the floodwaters and because of the devastation. Some may be injured. Volunteers are in those areas trying to get clean water and trying to get food to some of these areas. The volunteers in the area live and work in these communities, so the strength is that they know the geography, they know the population, they know how to communicate with people there.
But they're also dealing with their own crisis as well, personal crises.
Right.
Their families are there.
Absolutely. So the Canadian Red Cross is one of the societies that is sending financial resources to help support those efforts on the ground, to get some of those resources to Bahamas and to try to get to the most vulnerable people there.
And what's the best thing people can do right now? Is it money?
Yeah, it is. Financial donations are always the best way to get aid there as soon as possible. So people can donate by going to redcross.ca or by calling our 1-800 number, which is 1-800-418-1111. They can donate there. All funds will be used to help with the support efforts on the ground in the Bahamas.
And is the recovery, are we talking months, years?
I mean, looking at some of the pictures, it's hard to say right now because, we don't even know the full extent of the damage, but just looking at some of the early pictures, I think it will be definitely years. One thing that the Red Cross, is doing, we have, the Canadian Red Cross has something called an emergency response unit. And the emergency response unit is essentially a medical clinic that can be transported, set up, and operationalized very quickly to help provide medical services to individuals that need it. We are ready to send that if and when it is needed.
Just waiting for the request.
Right.
Thank you very much for joining us and sharing how
My
people
pleasure.
can help. It is appreciated. If you're looking for more ways to help, you can go to the Red Cross website, which is redcrosscanada.ca.
Redcross.ca.
Thank you very much. We'll have more on BT coming up. But